I once had a friend, let's call her Carly, who I welcomed into my home upon learning about her rent and transportation struggles. She seemed thrilled at the prospect of cheaper rent and closer proximity to school. However, I made it clear that she would need to contribute to household expenses, including rent, gas, and utilities. Juggling two jobs and online schooling, I also took on the responsibility of driving her to school and her part-time job before my own work shifts began. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until time passed. Initially, Carly's failure to clean up after herself was a minor annoyance. She often cited school as an excuse, so I let it slide. But as time went on, her neglect of household chores escalated to the point where my belongings began disappearing and she started ordering takeout excessively. Feeling the strain, I finally confronted her about our agreement. She apologized and promised to improve, but a month later, I returned home from my second job only to receive a call from my landlord informing me that rent had not been paid. Exhaustion and stress weighed heavily on me. To compound matters, my boyfriend, whom we'll call Dave, called me questioning Carly's accusations against me. Confused, I asked him to come over, and he obliged. When he arrived, he relayed what Carly had been telling our friends about me being toxic and controlling, as well as accusing me of stealing her money to buy food instead of paying bills. Shocked and overwhelmed, I broke down in tears as I explained the situation. Dave comforted me and vowed to stay with me until things were resolved. When Carly returned home, Dave and I confronted her, waiting at the dining room table. She greeted us casually, acting as though nothing was amiss. I insisted that we needed to talk, and she sat down, looking puzzled. But before I could broach the subject, she dismissed it, saying she'd had a long day and that paying the rent would resolve any issues. Infuriated, I snapped back, revealing that I had been covering all the expenses, including utilities and the house itself, while juggling numerous responsibilities. I questioned her audacity to label me a bad roommate after I had opened my home to her, and I challenged her accusations against me. Finally, I gave her an ultimatum: pay back all the utilities and rent by the end of the month, or find somewhere else to live. She promised to make amends and retreated to her room. Turning to Dave, I admitted my exhaustion and lack of plans. He suggested I take advantage of my paid vacation and offered his place as a refugee to distress. Packing a bag, I escaped to his home for a few days, disconnecting from the chaos and giving myself some much-needed respite.